Hi, I'm Dineth Keragala. I'm a third year undergraduate from the Faculty of Engineering, University of Ruhuna, and I'm here to give you some tips on how to present yourself to your audience to make yourself look engaging and attractive, and also make yourself look as confident as possible. Now, before we start, I just want you to mention this one thing that I hope you keep in your mind throughout this video. A speaker should never be doing the same thing throughout their speech. They should always be in a constant state of change because the audience likes change. That is how the audience is. I don't know whether this makes sense right now, but I hope that it will by the end of this video. So let's start with one of the most important qualities a public speaker should have, which is vocal variations. Now imagine I start this video like how to present the speech is just as important as what a speaker says. In this video we focus on, like, if I continue in that monotonous, like monotonous same paced way, I'm pretty sure you guys are gonna get bored and go do something else that you think is more worthwhile. That's the point I'm trying to make. When you're giving your speech, it's important that you have good variations of tone in your voice. Go to a higher pitch when it's required or lower pitch. Either way, if you're alternating between those two states, your audience will definitely be more engaged. Right? It's definitely more important. Another thing that you can do is to have a bit of variation in the pace of your speech. One thing that you can do to achieve this is to add a little bit more short pauses in your speeches, especially in places where you want to add more impact or you want to add a bit more emphasis. A pause in your speech can go a long way. Another thing that I want you to focus on is how to maintain good eye contact. I know a lot of people struggle with maintaining eye contact during speeches because it makes them uncomfortable. But that, to be honest, is not a good thing, because what you're doing is, while you're making yourself feel comfortable, you're kind of alienating the audience away from your speech. And that is not something you really want to do. You want your audience to be paying attention to you. So you need to be looking at your audience properly. Now, just because I'm saying this doesn't mean that you are just like looking at one person, or one spot in the audience throughout your speech, because what that also does is you're alienating some part of the audience while you're putting this immense pressure on this other part of the audience. So you have to try to avoid that as well. What I would suggest is try to alternate between different areas in the audience throughout your speech. For example, first start with front left of your audience, then move to back left, and then back right, and then front right, and then back to front left, and just keep alternating like that throughout your speech. Just look at different sections of the audience while you are presenting yourself. So that's something I hope you guys can keep in mind. Also, remember to keep some good posture while giving your speeches. Try to be like straight back as possible, and have some confidence in yourself, I suppose. Good posture goes a long way, because then the audience realizes that you know what you're talking about. If you appear looking like the Hunchback of Notre Dame, then the audience might be kind of put off by that. So yeah, posture is also something that you need to consider. Another thing is using appropriate hand gestures. Now this is also another thing that a lot of speakers struggle with, because when they're giving their speeches, they don't know what to do with their hands. Some people just have them at their sides, some people have them clasped on top of each other, and they just remain like that throughout the speech. And again, this is not really an effective way of using your hands, because your hand movement goes a long way in engaging with your audience. The more you express yourself by using by like while but the more you express yourself while speaking, while using your hands, the more attentive the audience gets, because like I said before, the audience likes seeing change. You can express that change through your hands. So that is something I want you to consider as well. Also remember to have good facial expressions. Don't just try to have the same poker face throughout your speeches. Be more expressive. If there's a happy part in your speech, be happy. If there's a sad part in your speech, be sad. It's honestly not that different from acting. There are a lot of similarities between acting and public speaking that I think you can benefit a lot from. One final tip I want to give is how you use your stage. When you're giving your speeches, don't just stand in one place. You have this entire area that you can use. Try walking around from left to right, left to right, because the audience, once again, likes to see change. They want to see some movement. If they just see this scarecrow standing in the middle of the stage, they're not going to be paying attention, or they're just going to be put off. But the more you move, the more the eyes of the audience will be following you, and the more entranced that they will get. So moving around in the stage goes a long way. Not just because I say moving around the stage, don't start running around the stage. Just have some motion back and forth, left to right, something like that works just fine. And finally, I suppose where all the previous advice I said culminates, you consider all of that, you make your speech, and you start practicing in front of a mirror, so that you can see what you're doing, so that you can see the hand gestures, the facial expressions. Even if you're making eye contact, either do it in front of a mirror or in front of a camera, or even if you're really desperate, do it in front of a friend. Honestly, I know it's going to be a little, you're worried that your friends might make fun of you or something, but you're supposed to be doing this speech in front of an audience, so you might as well test it out on someone you can really trust. I would definitely say go for the friend option, honestly. And if you're a speaker who is dealing with nervousness, you're afraid that you're going to fail on stage, you're afraid that the audience will judge you, I just want to say this. I believe that every public speaker, before they get on stage, feels some sort of nervousness. Even I do. Even throughout the many competitions I've gone to, I have definitely felt that nervous pit in my stomach. But I want you to focus on is not how the audience will react to you. It's what you want to show your audience, what you are trying to present to the people in front of you, the message that you are trying to do. It's not just about how the audience will react, it's how you want the audience to react to what you want to say. And after thinking that, take a deep breath, exhale, and then look at your audience and just give out your first sentence. Once you start with that first sentence and you enter that flow, I can promise you that nervousness will fade away, and you can just go on with your speech if you are in that mindset. I hope that this video has been helpful, and I look forward to the speeches that come forth in this interfaculty speech competition.